2 years ago, I was just an average 13-year-old in 7th grade. I was playing countless video games every single day like usual with my friends, and I kept up my grades in school. However, I felt very skinny, small, and I was very insecure during that age because I let my thoughts overpower me. I was very insecure about my haircut, and I remember people used to call me a mushroom. During that time, I recovered from being a very chubby kid, and even though I wasn't that big anymore, I still had my mind telling me that I needed to do something with myself. My parents did not respect me, and I didn't do anything to improve my life. I was stuck in a rut, but I realized that I had an ambition to get shredded. I remember telling my family that I was going to be jacked by the end of 8th grade, and with this I started doing push-ups. This went well for a while, where I was doing 20 push-ups every single day, but about 2 months in, there was a turning point where I didn't feel like doing it. I took a break, and I was still in square one. Fast forwarding into November of 2022, this was my physique in 8th grade. I still look the same like I was in 7th grade, and because of this, I got a pull-up bar. This is where a new bridge opened to me in my life, and I structured a bodyweight routine every week. This made me do my first pull-up, and I was very proud of myself, but I still didn't see any progress in my physique, and I questioned, how am I going to get jacked when I'm still skinny? I contemplated this until my dad asked me a life-changing question. Do you want to work out with me at the gym? I quickly said yes, and February 5th, 2023 marked the date on my first time stepping in 24-hour fitness. I tried every machine, and I was fascinated by how much potential I had when going to the gym. Due to this, I bulked for 7 months, and in the middle of that span, I officially turned 14 years old. I pushed myself at the gym and in my bodyweight routine. I did the work when I didn't want to, and I ate a strict diet consisting of healthy meals. By the beginning of my cutting phase, I joined wrestling in my freshman year, and honestly, this was one of the biggest changes in my life. I realized how much discipline, pain, victory, and humility wrestling takes on me. Because of this, I finally got to see my abs. I was getting more leaner than before, and I realized that all of these 2 years of hard work finally paid off. Fast forwarding to now, I recently turned 15 years old, and I managed to build up a lean physique during the span of my 13-year-old self to who I am today. My mental health is at an all-time high right now. I feel confident, disciplined, and grateful that I have made the decision at 13 to start building myself to where I want to be. Now that you have heard about my fitness journey from being an insecure guy to being shredded, here's how I did it. If you are ever wondering what I did to have a shredded physique, today I will explain what has helped me build one. But first, let's review the first thing that contributed to my gains. I was a big boy in the middle of my fitness journey, as I had managed to bulk up an extra 20 pounds of pure mass. I used to eat so much more than usual, as I was eating truckloads of rice in my meals, and this caused my face to look bloated and a little chunky. However, looking back at this now, I do not regret this decision that I made in the start of my fitness journey to build more mass, even though I was a very huge guy. As I transitioned to bulking and cutting, my focus shifted from building muscle and mass to having a more shredded physique. This was a necessary step in my fitness journey, as wrestling contributed to this factor, enabling me to lose fat and build more muscle over time. Being a caloric deficit was the way that I was able to do this, as I just simply cut down what I usually ate in my meals and my snacks during that day. Cutting wasn't really an easy thing to do, because right now, in order to maintain my physique, I need to watch over what I eat. I'm not usually eating my favorite foods, especially donuts, and through discipline, persistence, and patience, I began to see significant changes when I was cutting. In the end, this principle proved to be the first thing that made me lean. And probably if I hadn't done this, I would still be a mass monster if I hadn't cut. Speaking of what I ate in my cutting phase, I chopped down my carb and snack consumption, as these two play a huge role in gaining weight. Instead of 3 meals and several snacks a day, what made me shredded was having little to no snacks in between my meals. So I'll be fully nourished when I eat the main foods of the day. Because of this, I limited down on how much rice I was eating, as this is a very caloric dense food. necessary for bulking. I switch proportions of rice for vegetables and protein, both nutrient-dense foods, especially when you add very organic vegetables to your meals. Additionally, adding fruits to my snacks is a game changer if you want to cut and have a healthy diet, because you can still overeat on fruits and still not gain weight rather than eating candies and other processed foods. Speaking of processed foods, during the middle of my cutting phase, I developed a good diet abstaining from any processed foods that have high amounts of fat, sodium, sugar, cholesterol, carbs, and other unhealthy ingredients. Surprisingly, someone told me to never train abs when I was bulking because it is a completely waste of time. With all the layers of fat that I was putting on, I believed in this and didn't train my abs for the rest of my phase. However, during my cutting phase, my abs weren't as visible as before. But once I started training them, I seen a drastic change of them just popping out of nowhere, even though I was a bit chunky. Others might say that it is unnecessary to train your abs while you are bulking because the layer of fat is already covering it. But training them helps you prepare them for being more defined when you're cutting. You see, if I just trained my abs during my bulking phase, I bet it could have been more defined when I was preparing to cut because training them made my abs pop out and be more aesthetic. I realized that training abs is just like training any other muscle group in the body, and the disproportionality of training other muscle groups except the abs is a mistake that I wished I fixed during my bulking phase. Skipping them is like skipping leg day, and in my personal experience, training them made my body look more shredded once I cut down weight. And at the same time, it can be well said that resistance training or going to the gym really summed up how much muscle I built. And if my dad hadn't just asked me if I wanted a gym membership, my physique wouldn't have been as jacked as right now. If I'm being really honest with myself, I have a full future ahead of me in building muscle and inspiring others to do the same. It's crazy how much years I have ahead of me. And I'm super grateful that I took the opportunity in being 13 to improve myself and even help with you guys in your fitness journey. With this said, I hope this video gives you more information about fitness. Thank you for watching and have a great day.